Hey guys, this is how you change the fluids in the auto gearbox in both differentials. Time is short, so I shall create chapters for you so you can skip to whichever chapter you need, or maybe you need all of them. That's okay. Hope this helps you guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Good to see you, by the way, you're looking good. Today we've got my 2001 Subaru Impreza. It's an automatic transmission. We're going to change the automatic transmission fluid and the oil filter as well. I don't know, it's an unknown quantity, this car, but from what I can see there are little metal filings in the oil, so I'm pretty keen on changing it. It's a bit clunky as well. Could well be that it's just past its use by date, or it could well be that maybe putting new fluid in it just might make a little bit of an improvement. So let's get going. Don't be shy, come down here, let's have a look at what we need to use. And we also need obviously an oil filter and trans fluid. The DX3 is the stuff we need. There's a couple more containers of that too, because it does use quite a lot, so it's just one part of it. Okay, so down here really all we need is a 17mm socket. I prefer the hexagonals because they hold the bolt much more securely than just a standard socket, so I use the hexagonal ones. A nice big strong arm. Not necessarily, but I like having one of these babies to undo the oil filter. Just easier to do. You can still get your hand around it, or bust a screwdriver through it and use that as a bit of leverage. Doesn't really matter, but it's really the only things you need, apart from something to capture the oil and just a way of being able to get your car up high enough so you can get underneath it. Transmission is down there. Right there. And that's where we're going to fill it up from. And that's interesting that that's actually sitting slightly high. There's two marks, one of them is cold and one of them is hot. So we need to remove the gearbox drain bolt and oil filter. Funnily enough, the oil filter looks very much like an engine oil filter, but make sure you get the correct one for your gearbox. Okay, so a little bit of oil around the edges of that gasket. So just putting a little tiny bit of the trans oil on it, nice fresh stuff. And like that. That's pretty much all you need. Okay, so the oil containers have something like that. So what I've done is I've just used a bit of ingenuity and just put some PVC pipe onto it, because it's quite a long way down there and I simply can't get a big container down there, so just use whatever you've got and away you go. So I'm going to pop that down into that little area there. It's going to make the filling of it a bit slow, but there you go. Okay, end result, what have we done? I've done this. Going down, we've got a little plastic fitting that you get with the oil, put that up, and then I've got this one feeding into it, because otherwise we are going to be here till the cows come home. Guys, right, well, we're at the rear of the diff of this car at the moment. As you can see, you have two of these little thingies here, which fit a 1/2 inch socket straight into them, or a 1/2 inch drive I should say, from a socket set. The top one, generally you want to take the top one out first. That's the refill hole. and that one there is the drain hole. So I can loosen that one off first. I've already put a whole lot of WD-40 and stuff around it to try and loosen that up a little bit, and then we'll actually have a crack at this one here. So if we can get these things out. I've already taken the car for a wee bit of a drive, so the oil in it should be nice and warm and thinner to be able to get out. So let's give that a go now. Boys. We have it, we have it, we have it. So in theory, if I take the top one off first, if it's full, there should be a little bit dripping out of that. Once we do that, we'll take the bottom one out. Okay, that should roll shortly. Just down on that side. And nothing. Okay, right. Let's now grab this one. Oh. Now the other thing I'm going to do as well, because I've had to put this up on such an awful angle, it's all tilting forwards, so I think if I bring it down to ground level, I'm also going to get more oil out of it. That oil looks quite clean actually, and the other interesting thing too is there's a few metal filings in it. Some metal filings still not really showing itself too well, but we'll go like that. So there are some metal filings in there, so there is a bit of wear. Okay, so we're going to use this little pump thing here to fill the oil up with. Once it starts running out of that top area, we know that it's all done. So this is a really useful little tool to have. Pop that into there like that, and then we just pump away. Should be. I think that's getting, yeah, it's getting close to what we should have. Okay. The fluid out of that's coming out nice and clear, which is what we want. Nice and clean. The other stuff was quite black, so yeah, it wasn't particularly pretty. But I'm going to do a double check of this as well. I'm going to do that up. I'm going to put this back level on the ground, and I'm going to check it again because I just think we might have that a little bit over full. Okay, now that's all done, I've tightened it up. I like giving the whole thing a good clean. You do that, then you can see whether or not there's been any oil leaks or anything around it. So, you know, any areas that you do work, if you see it's nice and clean, and especially next time you do an oil change, do the same thing underneath the engine as well. I just think that it's a really good, easy fault finding mission as well. I mean, if you've cleaned that all up, and then it's got oil and dirt and everything stuck to it again, we've got some kind of an oil leak, whereas if you just leave it the way it was, you have no idea. A couple of other things I want to show you as well. I like to look while you're there, you know, if you see something that's pretty obvious, or even just take a little bit of extra time and have a bit of a look underneath, especially the area you're working in, and just note if there's anything else that's likely to give us issues. Something that's concerning me right now, and I'll just move you around and show you. Okay, these CV boots are starting to crack. Now they're not through by any matter of means, but it's only going to be a matter of time when they're going to break. When they break, they'll crack, and then dirt and stuff will get into there, and it's the most effective grinding paste you'll ever get. So what'll happen is once that gets into there, it'll grind away at your CV joints, and then you'll be up for a really expensive bill for new CV joints. And both of them are very much the same, really looking pretty cack. So I'm going to order new boots for it as well. I'm going to install those at some stage, because that's not a good look. The only other thing, and this is just me being fussy, but there's lots of little bits of little bits of surface rust. I use a lithium grease type stuff. You can really use whatever you want. It's probably a little bit over-engineered for it, if I'm honest. But what I want to do is just put a bit of a coating on those things, so that at least they're it's going to save them from rusting again. And there's a few further down here as well. I might just just get those as well, just so that, I mean, this has come from Wellington, so it's sort of a city, near the sea, whereas we don't live near the sea, and I just like giving them a bit of love, so at least if we ever need to get into these areas again, they'll be better and they won't be all rusted up. We're quite fortunate in this country that that they don't put salt on our roads, so the kind of surface rust we show is nothing like we're getting in America and England. Just really cool. So we're quite fortunate in that way. Right, I'm just going to give that one a bit of a... Just want to coat it. Just want to give them a bit of a coat so they're not going to rust up even further. So there it is. There's my rant for the day. Okay, so the two tools we need here. One of them is a 20mm hexagonal socket in my case. Some of them use torque, but mine is actually one of these sockets, large one. And this is the wheel that I'm using for it as well. It uses a roughly about 1.2 litres, roughly. Not a lot. Well, okay. Okay, so right down here, down by the brake, which is just here, and right down here is the joystick. Right there, that we need to fill the diff up with. Pull that out. Okay, so I'm going to put that one in first. I'm just going to push this through. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. See you in the next one.